Hi, this is Grandma Laurie. Thanks for joining me. Today's story is Sneaky Pete and the Storm. Sneaky Pete had just gotten up and turned on the news while drinking his morning tea. It had been such a restful night, and the day dawned bright and sunny. "Today will be mostly sunny, but this evening there's a chance of severe storms," said the weather squirrel. "Best prepare yourselves now while the weather is fine. You don't want to rush around tonight during the storm." "A storm?" Pete said to himself, looking out at the sunny morning. "Well, I guess the weather squirrel knows what she's talking about." Sneaky Pete finished his breakfast and started looking around his house to see what needed to be done. First, he took down his outside lights so they wouldn't break during the storm. He also took down his planters. He didn't want to lose any of his flowers due to the wind. Next, he checked his acorn store. If it got really bad, he would have to go to the acorn store to wait out the storm, since it was the lowest place in his house. On his way, he picked up a few more acorns. "You never can have too many acorns," said Pete. Sneaky Pete checked his roof to make sure no water would leak into his house. He checked to make sure water would not get stopped by anything, like leaves or sticks. The day itself remained sunny, but toward evening it started to get overcast. Then, just as Pete finished his dinner, the storm blew in. With each clap of thunder and lightning, Pete's tree started shaking so badly that his ceiling started raining down little bits. Some even landed in his tea. "Guess I'd better go down to the acorn store," Pete said, gathering his things, closing the rest of his shutters, and heading down to the basement. As the rain and wind whipped around his house, Pete was glad Mom had still left the outside lights on so he had a little bit of light in his hiding place. "I'm so glad I got everything taken care of before the storm blew in," said Sneaky Pete. "That weather squirrel was right." The storm seemed to last forever. Pete was nervous about his tree and the things in his house, but he knew he had to stay where he was safe. He decided it was best to keep his strength up, so he had a few acorns while he was there. While the storm raged outside, Pete managed to fall asleep among his acorns. He felt safe going to the lowest place in his house. Even if the storm damaged his house, he would be safe. The next morning dawned bright and sunny. Pete ran upstairs to his home to see if there was any damage. When he got upstairs, he threw open his shutters and windows so he had a bit more light. A few leaves had blown into the house, and there were more bits that had fallen from the ceiling. But otherwise, Pete's house was in good condition. He did notice a few of the shutters had blown off, but all in all, he came through the storm in good condition. As Pete sat down that evening after cleaning everything up, he thought to himself, "I love that weather squirrel. I hope everyone listened to her." This has been Grandma Laurie. Thank you so much for joining me. To see the rest of the illustrations for this story, I'll put a link in the description. Thank you so much. Bye!